Hey guys, welcome back again. I thought of sharing this. So today while commuting, I was thinking about this that what more I can talk about, or I was observing like what all I do usually. So there's another thing which I usually practice as an investor is that I observe things very deeply. I observe human behavior a lot, and through this observation it's not just observing but like critically building opinion around it. So if I give you an example here, if I see people have this behavior of being lazy and not like going to a shop or a store to purchase, and if I see that behavior of purchasing online, is it only high cost product or low cost product. I also go deep down thinking about and observing that do people buy expensive product online or only cheap product online. Do they buy day to day regular product online? What is how people have adapted uh, buying online on a day to day, and not only a individual but like what is an overview or opinion about this within the family, or if I say so these are the few things which I observe. No, and this was an example of online experience or purchasing things online. But now I'll come down to more detail, like suppose what type of food they are consuming, what type of I mean drinks people prefer. So if I will also I enjoy doing these things, like what kind of things people enjoy purchasing. So if you remember from my earlier example, I was talking about when I see any jewelry stores nearby, I see a trend there where there are more brand stores which have been opening their small kiosks to like a large size stores, and always these stores are crowded and has huge like a lot of customers. Whereas if I see a local jewelry store without much branding, it's just present there, I see there are less crowd in those stores. And even and this is something which I have noticed very clearly around me, and that is how I'm bringing this information. Also, I see if there's a local store or which is famous, suppose in that region, they will now start thinking of building another brand, another store. So basically their plan, so how they think about growth is to build another branch in some other part of the city, right? So that kind of a behavior which I notice. And every restaurant, every food place, if you see, to grow, they don't simply grow in their own restaurant. To grow, they always think about, can I open the same branch somewhere? And you will notice, if a restaurant brand starts building more and more branches and expand themselves, the customer retain in those stores, and the kind of attraction those stores have is huge. So if I give you an example here, no, I think before Rameshwaram came, there were so many these eatery corners like Udupi or Vishnu, or like there's Krishna Vihar, or like so many eatery corners in, at least in Bangalore, like for idli and dosa. But no one had like a chain which is similar. So if it's Udupi, then there another store you will find similar name with a store you will find in your nearby in some other part of the city saying Udupi Utsav or Udupi something else, right? So that consistency was not there. And as the now I'm just talking about the brand name, but even the food consistency was not there. And the time when Rameshwaram came, and when they scaled, they made sure with the scalability of their branch, like having more branches, they made sure the consistency is same. The staff experience to food eating experience to how you stand in the queue, how do you serve the customer. There was a lot of consistency in their product, and that's how they were able to scale. And you might have heard or seen a trend, like you have seen people earlier, people used to stand or go to restaurants like which has those fast food or those American brands. But now the trend is changing where people are open to eat traditional food on their day to day outside also, like idli dosa was consumed. And now, and how these brands have a power here is they can charge higher price, they have consistency in their quality, in the experience. And when I see people trusting Rameshwaram compared to Udupi in their locality, I'm talking about the majority. I don't look at individual opinions, but I see what the crowd look at, how the crowd react. And when I observe these behavior, it gives me a trust that uh, there's a brand story people play. These businesses grow only when they think of these scalable ideas. And similar thing, when I observe these things, and when I see there's a reality front of me, I start also observing these things in my own businesses. I mean wherever I invest. And I see these things very carefully, so that and I start building opinion around this. So all the companies update or the story, whatever I consume, I also build opinion that how this will do better or not, what are the challenges they will face. So one skill which I want to call out is observation skills. And you have to enjoy that observation skill. It's not just also observing. You might have to step out and talk to somebody, right? When you observe something, maybe go and ask that person, and maybe question them and see what is the behavior in people's mind about that product, that business, or that service, if they are associated with. So these are few things which I do, and this helps me build strong opinions. And with these opinions, when I see these businesses doing good, I am able to build trust on them. I'm able to deploy money. I'm able to take decision. I'm more confident into this, and I'm able to also track and enjoy. So in terms of healthcare, in terms of FMCG products, or in terms of people, what they wear in their day-to-day life, or what they consume, right? And so with this observation skill, when I read these businesses, so one more example I will add here. In the past quarter, when so for bikes, in specifically in bikes, and when this electric scooter, electric bikes were growing, I remember around April, these businesses were showing updates, and I was very carefully listening to them, what's happening. Few stocks got listed, few stocks got highlighted, like Ola, Ather, who got listed. Then Bajaj Chetak gave an update. When I was observing these things, what I liked about Ather was that Ather had a differential product. Like I used to see, when I used to see a store at Ather, and then another store of an Ola, most of the time I will notice that these stores are very close to each other, but the crowd in Ather was high. And one more thing, the Ather had a different brand value. People used to they feel that they have, when they buy Ather, they feel a pride. And I used to feel they used to enjoy those, right? They used to show off their Ather. They used to I noticed that behavior because the product is built in a way, the brand has that tone, that language, the communication. Whereas Ola is like little bit mass. Similar pricing, by the way, similar pricing like Ather, but I noticed that Ola has a lot of problems. Ola has a lot of negativity around the sentiment. Ola is looked as a cheap bike, cheap scooty, and because the way it looks, right? And people's sentiment was also bad, because everybody started riding Ola compared to Ather, right? Ather, people who were a little classy, who wanted to maintain that, like I used to notice that like people who drive Ola are not dressed well. A delivery person is also driving an Ola bike. It's fine. But when I see Ather scooter, people used to feel proud and own. And the personality on an Ather and an Ola, most of the time you will see there's a difference. And these kind of observation gave me more confidence to look at this business. So when I now it doesn't mean that I'll go and buy these stocks, right? Why I'm calling out or sharing this observation is that, so when I started reading or knowing more about these companies, I found something interesting which gave me more confidence about, and I built my own opinion after hearing all the updates, that I trust Ather more compared to Ola. And this trust has been from almost April. I remember I wrote in my note also that Ather will, so in their business update, Ather promised that from next year, they promised to give dividend to their investors. What does this mean? It doesn't mean that they will give. So this statement had a very hidden meaning. Currently, Ether is in loss, right? So they don't have a profit yet. So and because they don't have a profit yet, they show the stock sometimes moves. I don't care, right? I don't invest into a business when business is not profitable. So I don't like to build a position which doesn't have a which I don't see near future if there's a profitable conversion happening or not. So when I was observing, so I see there's a loss. There's a huge loss in the business, but the sales growth is better. And one thing, when I heard this, that okay, from next year if they are giving dividend, basically the business was telling, from next year we will be profitable, give us some time for a year, we will give you profit or dividend, sorry, we'll give you dividend from next year. That statement means that they will turn profitable. Company is confident, but they cannot say loud, right? They cannot say and post that okay, tomorrow we will get profitable or next year we'll get profitable. That's a huge statement. So when I read about these, and whereas when I hear about Ola or see Ola's updates, it always gives me disappointment, because their losses, the amount of losses they're able to do, very low margin, very low sales growth compared to Ether. So that's how I observe. Then I go and study and do my research, and I enjoy doing that. And through that I build opinion, and based on those opinion, it gives me trust, it gives me confidence to get into investing, and because it's my own, right? And then it gives me more fun to actually track and go through them. So that's what I wanted to share. And if you want to become or get into investing, build the skill set of observing and observing very critically, and then also building an opinion around this. So that's all for today. And you will notice that when you do this, you will enjoy the process, and when you enjoy the process, you will have enough opportunity in your life for future. So, and also how I am saying this. So when I started listening to a lot of investors who have done good in their past, when I hear them very critically, when I observe their point of view, and when I think what they exactly meant, and these learnings were not directly from one podcast or one writing, right? When I observe or read and think, sit down and think about it again, build my own opinion, I understand that they had a similar kind of a behavior, and based on these behaviors they were able to build something. Most of the founders, most of the business owners also have similar behavior of observing people around them, and then finding ideas, finding problem statement, finding something which gives them a trigger to build something. So that's what I wanted to come back to. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be bringing more and more information. I just had this thought, I thought of recording and sharing with you guys. Thank you so much, and give me more just bless me to bring more and more learning and information. I really want to do, but I am not used to do this. This is something I just don't enjoy. I enjoy sharing things, but I'm not best into sharing in a very articulated way, or building giving you something in a very gist, right? I think I speak or give a lot of details around it. Sometimes these things are not these are unnecessary, but I think if somebody hears it very carefully, they will I'm trying to simplify things, how I see. And I also when I learn something, I consume something, I always try to simplify. And if it is not simplified, I don't consume it properly, or I don't take away out of it. So that's the idea here. And once again I'm repeating, but yeah, thank you, bye.